All-knowing orb of fire. A Salvia divinorum trip report at 10 times extract. Uploaded to erawid.org by Phillips, June 21st, 2008. Background. I'm 135 pounds body weight. Over this past year, I've become very familiar with the Salvia drug, often smoking it with cannabis in order to eliminate many of the negative effects I experience on cannabis alone. However, I hadn't fully experienced the mind-altering state of pure Salvia extract until just the other night. Pre-trip. I had about a bowl and a half of 10 times Salvia extract, and it being a Sunday night with nothing to do, I decided to smoke it all myself. I made a makeshift pipe from a soda can. My pipe was at my friend's house, and I loaded the entire bowl and a half into it. I quickly smoked the Salvia, crushed the can, threw it away, and lay down on the couch in the TV room in my house. What came next was nothing like I had ever experienced before. The trip. After I'd laid down on my couch, I immediately closed my eyes so as to experience the closed-eye hallucinations I'd heard so much about. Almost immediately, I felt as if my body had disappeared, and I was surrounded in total darkness. After a few minutes of nothingness, I finally was able to open my eyes, and when I did, I found myself in a meadow of waist-high grass that seemed to stretch on for eternity. I felt a breeze blow through my hair, and I watched as the wind began to blow the grass in concentric circles and other intricate designs around me. I stared, mesmerised at the field for what felt like an hour until I noticed a boy running towards me through the field. As he approached me, I saw that he was no older than 8 years old, and when he stopped in front of me, I saw that he looked exactly like I did when I was his age, despite some subtle differences such as more blonde-coloured hair and dimples in his cheeks when he smiled. Now, I've heard many accounts from friends and from experiences I've read online where many of the people who have taken Salvia experience glimpses into their future and have lived to see these glimpses come true. As I looked at the boy, I became convinced that I was seeing my own son. I believed it so strongly that the whole experience became somewhat overwhelming. The boy looked at me and said, "My name is Ronnie," and took my hand and began to lead me through the field. After only a few seconds of walking, we came to what appeared to be a puddle of ice blue water that seemed to glow. I knelt down to look in the water, and saw both the boy and my reflections in the water, and it again became overwhelmingly apparent that he was in fact to be my son. I watched in the reflections in the water, as the boy turned to me and whispered into my ear, "He knows everything." The boy then vanished, and only I was left staring into the pool. Suddenly, and for no conscious reason, I dove into the pool and began swimming down what appeared to be some kind of arctic well. I watched as the hair on my arms began to freeze and turn to ice, and felt my hair begin to crystallise and harden as I swam through the clear blue water, yet the water felt as though it were as warm as tropical waters. Soon, I saw what appeared to be a glowing ball of blue light at the bottom of the well, and I swam towards it against an ever-increasing current that seemed to be trying to push me away from it. I fought through the current until I reached the orb, and when I picked it up, it appeared to be a warm glass sphere with blue flames burning inside of it. Instantly, I knew that the sphere was some sort of ancient, all-knowing entity, and I felt the urge to ask him one question. Why am I not happy? The orb glowed brighter and responded, "You live your life always wishing for better, but never appreciating what you have. You have great love in your heart, but do not accept the love of others. You feel the warmth of the air, the chill of a stream, the prick of a thorn, but you do not truly reach out and touch the life around you." After the orb had spoken its words of wisdom, it disappeared and left me in darkness under the water. At this point, the song Eclipse by Pink Floyd, which had been playing on my computer in the background to set the mood, filtered into my dream state, and my body began to spin in the water. As the lyrics, "all that you love and all that you hate," flowed through my head, my 5 senses, sight, sound, touch, taste and smell, began to be stripped away from my body, as if the water was ripping the flesh off of my bones, until nothing was left but my mind in the darkness. This stripping of my senses and body was crushing and devastating. I felt like my heart was going to burst with sorrow, as I realised that I was really nothing in an abyss of darkness. Then, out of the darkness, came the voice of the glowing orb telling me this: "You will not die alone." Instantly, my sight, touch, hearing and other senses returned, and I began swimming for the surface of the pool, for I realised I was drowning and I was dying. As I neared the surface of the pool, I doubted whether my body and my soul would make it, and I thought I was going to die in the blue abyss. That was until a hand came reaching through the water to help me. When I grasped onto the hand, I realised it was the boy, my son. He'd come to save me, and I burst through the thin ice layer, over the pool and into the air. With the climax of bursting through the ice and back into the living world, I also came back to reality and opened my eyes to see my room once again. This experience was one that will change me forever. Maybe not in personality, but in the way I see things and the way I look at my own problems. It is very hard to explain the feeling I've gotten from this trip, but what I can say is that they are all positive, and I truly feel my experience has changed me for the better.